Mariners win 5-1. They improve to 67 and 65 on the season. I don't know why it took me so long to come up with that. I'm staring right at it. 67 and 65 on the season, and they take the first of the 3-game series against the Tampa Bay Rays. Today was a weird day. We'll talk about it in a second. Scoring plays. Josh Lowe hits a homer in the top of the second to give Tampa Bay a 1-0 lead. But the Mariners answer back in the second with a Jorge Polanco homer to tie the game at 1-1. Third inning, Randy Arozarena, congrats on your first home run in Seattle, and it was a big one. A 3-run shot that gives them a 4-1 lead. Mariners add another in the fourth on a Rivas single that scores Josh Rojas 5-1. Mariners win. I'm not going to talk about negatives today, mainly because there's not a whole heck of a lot. There's just not a lot to say that you could say negatively. A couple of guys don't get hits, 3 guys, in fact. Two of those guys don't get on at all. One of them, Dominic Canzone, does draw a walk, but I'm not going to focus on the negative today. Mainly, I'll talk about it in a second. This will be a shorter video, by the way. But we will still thank Simply Seattle because they are the best and they provide the very best in Seattle sports gear. Great stuff for the Mariners, the Seahawks, the Kraken, the Storm, the Sounders, Huskies, Cougars. You can find it all at simplyseattle.com. And then once you find it, please enter code MOLLYWOP15, not only because it shows that you're paying attention to the show, but you're going to save 15%. Why would you not enter code MOLLYWOP15? MOLLYWHOP15. If you're saying to yourself, Chris, that's so hard to remember, no, it's not. And number 2, there's a link in the description. You go to the link, you copy and paste the code. It's super easy. Thank you so much, simplyseattle.com. So I had a long day today, and it was not a bad day. It was just a long day. It was a tough day. It was a tough day. Today is Monday, August 26th, is my mom's birthday. And I think you guys all know how much I miss her. It's been really hard not having her here. And yeah, that was tough. But I went out to dinner with my sister and her family and missed the first couple innings. No issue with that. Listened to it on the radio, then watched the highlights of those home runs. But it was tough. And anybody who has lost a parent or any type of loved one who, that you used to spend time with them for their birthday, and I feel for you because that was tough today. That was tough. I miss you, Mom. I love you very, very much. I keep thinking, I'm sorry, I'm adding to the video time with this one, but getting to do that KJR stuff, she would have been so proud. I really hope that she somehow has been able to do that. I'm a person of faith, so I believe that she did, or is. But sure wish she could have heard it. Like, I know that you know what I'm saying. All right, enough sad stuff. This is a big win. Thank you so much, Bryce Harper, you beautiful man, you. Walk-off single to defeat the Astros in extra innings. So with the Mariners win and with the Astros loss, it's now 3.5 games. 3.5 with 30 games to go for the Seattle Mariners, and I think 31 to go for the Houston Astros. It's getting closer. It's getting closer. I understand skepticals. Is skepticals a thing? Yeah, I'll say yes. I understand those who are skeptical. It's getting closer. You have something to play for. You're going to have something to play for in September. And look, guys, I get it. I get the frustration. I'm right there with you. I think I've been the leader of the pack in terms of some of this stuff, or one of them anyway. We have not had a lot of Septembers with stuff to play for. I mean, technically not eliminated, but we've known how September has gone. For all intents and purposes, the Mariners have been out of playoff contention way more often than not to begin a month. And it very much looks like, barring the Mariners are going to have something to play for in September. Doesn't excuse the poor play, doesn't excuse a lot of things, but I am excited. I'm excited that games matter in September for the Seattle Mariners again. So that's cool. That is cool. Offensively, um, Josh Rojas, great last couple of games. Drives that double. It's nice to see him making hard contact again. Also, it's a solid line drive single. It's great to see that he's starting to swing the bat better. They have to get him going because he has been a borderline automatic out for 3 months. And he was fantastic for a month. It would be great to see. If you don't need him to be as good as he was in April, but it would be great to see him be a lot better than he was in June, July, and August. They need it. They really need it. They need everybody to get going, of course, but Josh Rojas has been atrocious. But these last 2 games, he's looked pretty darn good. Let's talk about we're going to close with Bryce Miller because, oh my goodness gracious. You know what? Let's talk about the bullpen first. Like the decision to go to Austin Voth in that situation. I will be honest. I was thinking about talking about this in the negative section, but again, I don't want to do a 20-minute video. Trent Thornton in the 9th was not my favorite decision. Now, I kind of get it. Andres Munoz, probably you're not available. Colin Snyder has been worked a ton lately. So you go to Voth. I don't know who else you would go to in that situation. I'll just say I was not comfortable. However, they both belong in the positive section because they pitched really well. Thornton fell behind a couple of guys, but he was able to get a couple strikeouts and a weak ground ball out. Voth did his job. Voth, however I'm supposed to say it. Seems like I say it a different way every time. Good job. I did not love that we had to see Trent Thornton, and I hope we don't have to see him in, because you know what? A 4-run game is not high leverage, but it's not, you're really hoping that he doesn't scuffle, and we have seen Trent Thornton scuffle a lot. So, didn't love seeing Trent Thornton in that situation. I wouldn't say it's a bad managerial decision. I would just say the circumstance that brought it around was not my favorite. But it worked out just fine. Very nice job by both of those guys after, well, we'll talk about it in a second. Let's talk about the 3rd inning. Jorge Polanco. Very nice to see him drive that baseball, tie the game at 1-1. And then in the 3rd inning, so Rivas gets out. Luke Raley gets out. Julio comes up and hits just a little chopper that Jose Caballero, former Mariner legend Jose Caballero, just flat out boots. There's one runner on. Cal Raleigh comes to the plate. Cal Raleigh. Big dumper comes to the plate. And he put some good English on it. That ball looked like it was going foul by a considerable margin. And then all of a sudden, hits the bag. And so you got runners on 1st and 2nd with 2 outs. And Randy Arozarena, that's why you trade for a guy like that. And look, Randy Arozarena has been awful as of late. Some flashes here and there, and he's been hit a whole bunch to help the OBP. But Randy Arozarena just has not been good enough. After a good start after the trade, has not been good enough. I'm really hoping this gets him going because he shellacked that baseball. Shellacked it. And, he had a double on Saturday, so I think Arozarena is going to help them a lot over these final 30 games. He better. For their sake, not for Randy Arozarena's sake. You know what I'm trying to say. Great to see. And look, Scott Service had the quote about not getting a lot of breaks, right? And I think we did the Liz Lemon. If you guys don't know that reference, where she rolls her eyes so hard that they get stuck. And that doctors tell her that. I think we all did that type of eye roll when we heard that because, oh boy, did we not want to hear anything about breaks. Having said that, these were not the things that were happening for the Seattle Mariners as of late. And having said that, on the occasions where things like this did happen, they didn't capitalize. Oh, did they capitalize with that? Because look, the inning should have been over. Inning should have been over probably twice. We don't know what Big Dumper does in the rest of that at bat, but it's not like he earned that hit. It worked out. And then Rosarina showed off that Oppo Popo. And you knew the Mariners were going to win that game because Bryce Miller wasn't going to give up another run. That's the best I've seen Bryce Miller pitch, and it's not even close. There have been some really good results from Bryce Miller, but when you combine those results and how good he looked doing it and how efficient he was, guys, he threw 92 pitches over 4 innings in his previous start. He threw 91 pitches for 7 innings of 1-run baseball, 0 walks, and 10 strikeouts. His stuff was electric tonight. Electric. This starting pitching is so good. And I know Castillo's kind of scuffled over the last 2. I'm going to stop using scuffled so much. Faltered. George Kirby had a bad start in his last one. You know, they're not infallible, but they're really good. And they're all capable of giving you starts like this. You saw from Bryce Miller and Brian Wu, and I'm so proud of myself that I didn't call him Brian Miller and Bryce Wu. So proud of myself. You saw not only that these guys are really good right now, they're only going to get better. It actually kind of breaks my heart a little bit to think that there's a pretty decent chance that one of them goes away in the next couple of years. And if it's not them, maybe it's Gilbert, maybe it's Kirby. It's just tough to see a 5-man rotation stick around for a long time. But boy, oh boy, was Bryce Miller just absolutely sensational in a game that you needed a sensational outing. I mean, they need one from everybody now. They have such a thin margin of error, if they even have a margin of error. I guess they do, because we're not asking them to go 30-0. I wouldn't mind it, though. If they want to think about it, if they want to make that decision and decide to win the rest of their games, go for it. So 3.5 back. And then tomorrow, we have got Logan Gilbert against what I always call Sean Springs, former Seahawk legend, who used to wear this uniform right here. Jeffrey Springs. Springs is talented, but game he should win. Game he should win. It'd just be wonderful to win 2 straight series. It's been a while. It's been a while since they've won 2 straight games. But they got that now. How is this video 13 minutes? I just can't shut my mouth, can I? Please hit like. Please hit subscribe. Back tomorrow. Really appreciate the support. And again, happy birthday, Mom. I love you very much. And I love you guys too.